I thought the pandemic was going to ravage Africa the worst. Yeah, I won't lie, I was terrified. I was terrified for the African continent. You know, my whole life, I'd seen whenever there was a virus that broke out in the world, if it got to Africa, we got it the worst. I remember when it started spreading around the globe, I was getting ready for it. My friends from home were calling me on the phone. They're like, Trevor, are you seeing what's happening with coronavirus, my man? Are you seeing it? I was like, yeah, I'm seeing it, man. They're like, what do you think is going to happen? I was like, oh, man, you guys are screwed, man. Like, yeah, you guys. I was like, yeah, I'm in America, baby. I made the right choices in life. Turns out it was the other way around. Pound for pound, Africa did better than any other continent in handling the disease. Shocked everyone. What was even wilder was this. When Ebola was happening in Africa, the news always made it seem like it was Africans' fault for having Ebola. Right? Every time you'd watch the news, there was always a subtle level of blame that was happening in the news reports, right? They didn't humanize the people. It would always be someone random on like Sky or on the BBC. They'd be standing there. There'd be dead bodies piled up behind them. They'd be like, Sarah, I'm standing here in West Africa, where as you can see behind me, the bodies of Ebola victims are piling up. Many European scientists are asking if, unfortunately, these Africans have themselves to blame. They've been refusing the advice of the World Health Organization, not understanding the importance of distancing from each other during this time, and it appears that they only have themselves to blame. Dinimpan, BBC, back to you in the studio. And I would watch this and I'd be like, no, Africans, why do we do this to ourselves? Why, Africa? Why? Why do we love doing this to ourselves? Why do we like kissing monkeys? The lips are so sexy. And then when COVID came, Africans used everything they had learned from every virus that they had to fight without the help of the West, and they dealt with it better than any other continent. Didn't get credit, by the way. Everyone made it seem like it was luck. That's where the world is lucky that Africans aren't spiteful. Yeah. Africans aren't spiteful people. Because I would have given anything to just see one African news anchor come out and be like, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the African News Network. Tonight, we are covering the ongoing coronavirus pandemic that is ravaging the Western world. Many African scientists are asking if these people do not have themselves to blame. Many of them have refused the advice of the World Health Organization, completely ignoring the social distancing measures. Some of them have even had to be shown how to wash their own hands. Savages. It appears what has been increasing the severity of this problem is the fact that some of them do not even want to wear masks across their face, saying, quote, I cannot breathe through this piece of cloth. This is commonly known by scientists as bitch-ass lungs syndrome. Back to you in the stereo, Chipua. I would have given anything to see that. One of the biggest side effects of COVID that I didn't expect is how stupid it would make human beings. Yeah, if there's one thing coronavirus did, it taught me how many of my friends are absolute idiots. Everyone studied at the University of Facebook. Everyone's a scientist. Everyone had a conspiracy theory. You know what happened here? The government did this. Oh, the government did this? Yeah, the government did this. Why? To control us. You thought this gave them control? You think governments wanted this? Which do you think gives a government more control? A population that goes to work, earns money, buys things that they can't really afford, so get into debt, so they have to go back to work, do more of the thing they don't really like, to get more money to pay the debt for the thing that they didn't really need, for the thing that they didn't need to afford, to get more money to go to the job, for the thing they don't like, for the thing that they didn't need to buy, to get the loan, for the money, for the thing that they didn't want, to get into more debt, to get the thing that they don't want, to go to the job that they don't need, for the money. Which do you think gives them more control? That? Or everyone just sitting at home with free money thinking about life. Everyone just sitting at home like, how come a weekend's only 2 days? It's the government's worst nightmare. Conspiracies were stupid. And here's the thing, I'm not against conspiracy theories, right? Please understand that. I actually like a good conspiracy theory. In fact, I think everybody should hold one. I think in your life, you should hold at least one good conspiracy theory. Yeah, keeps you on your toes. Don't just trust everything everyone tells you. You gotta have one. Like mine, my personal favorite, I believe that gluten is concentrated white privilege. You know I'm right. But COVID, oh man, the conspiracies were ridiculous. Especially because I know what really happened. All right, that's what frustrated me. No, I do. I knew exactly what caused COVID. I saw it coming and I didn't say anything. My bad, by the way. Yeah, it was too much wishing. We wished too much. I saw it coming. You know, when I was young, wishing was something that was special. Didn't happen that much. You had to have a special set of circumstances in order for you to make a wish. You'd find a clover with the right amount of leaves. Huh? There'd be a star shooting. Where? There. Too late. Oh, it had to be your birthday. They'd bring out the candles. And if you blew them all out, you could make a wish. And if you missed any, you died. But then people just started wishing for anything. Huh? Find an eyelash on their cheek. Make a wish. Do you know how many of these shits are on your face at any given time? People started just wishing on like the time, right? And be like, 11:11. Make a wish. That's every day. Twice a day if you live on this side of the world because people don't like big numbers. You can't wish every day. That's not a special occasion. But people did it. People were wishing. Everywhere you went. Even rappers got involved. Oh, I wish a nigga would. Would what? You can't just leave it open-ended. And that's how we got COVID. All our wishes came together. And they all came true at the same time. And that's what we got. Yeah, because COVID was essentially like an asshole genie that gave us everything we asked for. We all wished. How many people were rubbing that lamp at the beginning of 2020? Just wishing away like, oh, I wish I didn't have to go into the office every day. Oh. Your wish is granted. Yeah, you wished not to go into the office. You forgot to wish that the office wouldn't come into your house. Now you were stuck every day on Zoom, can't blink, gotta make constant eye contact. Yeah, Had to find the one corner of your house that made it look like you had your shit together. Everybody wished. And boy, we got what we wished for. How many parents were rubbing that lamp? Wishing away. Oh, I wish I could spend more time with my kids. Oh. Your wish is granted. Yeah. A lot of parents realize the only reason you like your kids is because you only know them part-time. You meet them in the morning, you send them off, you tuck them in at night. It's a pretty sweet gig. But the next thing you know, everyone was trapped indoors, 24/7. Ooh, it was so fun to watch the parents flip. It was so fun. Remember at the beginning, all the parents were there. They're like, you will not open the schools. My children are not going anywhere. I will protect them at all costs. I'm a mama bear and I'll protect my cubs. You hear me? You will not open the schools until the virus is gone. 9 months later. Those same parents were there screaming on the stoop, when are the goddamn schools opening? You can't expect me to spend all day with these kids. Who am I, their mom? They should be in school. The kids were there like, but mommy, there's a new variant out there. Listen, Timmy, listen, at some point you're gonna have to see what you're made of, okay? Either your lungs are gonna make it or they ain't. All right, buddy? Now get on out there and see what you're made of, all right? If Simba could do it, so could you. Hakuna Matata. Go on, buddy. Go on. We all wished. How many couples out there were wishing? Rubbing away at that lamp, looking into each other's eyes. Damn, girl. I wish I could be locked in a room with you all day. Girl, I wish they would lock us up and throw away the key. The things I would do to you. Oh, yeah? What would you do to me? Girl, I wish they would tell us we could only see each other all day. All day. Your wish is granted. A lot of couples learned a lot during the pandemic. A lot of couples learned a lot during the pandemic. A lot of people realized that love may be unconditional, but like has a time limit. Because I love you, baby. I just don't know if I like you anymore. It all started as so much fun, remember? Oh, in the beginning, it was like a sleepover. Oh my God, this is so much fun. And then the weeks turned into months. The months turned into years. And at some point, you'd be sitting in the house with a glaze over your eyes. And you'd hear them coughing on the other side. And you'd be like, yes. Oh, yes, Jesus. Take them now, Lord. If it's their time, it's their time. Let thy will be done, Lord Jesus. I could use the extra office space. You know, one of the things that saddens me the most about the world we live in is that we oftentimes don't have the luxury to process the whys. We know that things happen. We feel the things happening to us, but oftentimes we don't make the time or we don't have the time to process the why. Why were we so angry? Why did we fight each other so much? We had no compassion for each other. We were the worst of ourselves. And you know, if you ask me, it's because we were scared. As humans, we become so comfortable knowing that we forget how uncertain life is. We get taught every single day that we know. We get comfortable knowing, so you think you'll always know. And what's the traffic gonna be like? You know. What's the weather gonna be like? You know. Oh, it'll rain on Thursday. You understand what a magic trick that is? If you had that technology 500 years ago, you were like, oh, it'll rain on Thursday. People would be like, kumba ding dang ginga wan dang ginga kumba ding dang ginga wan ding dang kumba wan. We take that for granted, but it's also made us forget that life is uncertain. We don't know. The pandemic showed it. It exposed every single one of us. And I think the thing that we didn't take a moment to think about is the why. Why were we so angry? Why were we so frustrated? It wasn't because of movies. It wasn't because we couldn't go out to parties. It wasn't because we couldn't go to the mall or any of that shit. It's because we lost each other. I lost you. You lost me. We lost this. You know? That's the real thing people were frustrated about. And what made it worse was that governments made it seem like they knew. I think that's the thing that made it worse. They were so confident. They made it seem like they knew. They said it would be 21 days. 21 days. I will never forget that number. Because we didn't ask why. Right? We heard China building a 10,000 person hospital overnight. None of us asked why. We were just like, China. They love building shit. I remember how confident world leaders were as well. Some more cocky than others. One of my favorites was Prime Minister of the UK, Boris Johnson. Yeah, he was an interesting one. He went to a hospital during the pandemic and he was hugging people. Like right at the beginning, he was hugging people, going around hugging people. Journalists asked him, they're like, Prime Minister Johnson, do you think it's appropriate for you to be hugging people during the pandemic? He's like, first of all, everyone needs to calm down. This is not a pandemic. This is not a pandemic. Look at my hair. Do I look stressed? Everybody needs to calm down. Nothing. Everything is fine. Well, I can touch people. We're not shutting down. Everything's staying open. The pubs are staying open. The football's staying open. Well, if you excuse me, I have to go. He was just gone. He didn't give a shit. Huh? America's president. Oh, he was even cockier. Yeah. You see him when he came out? Donald J. Trump? Oh, he had all the swag. He was like, folks, we're gonna have it handled. In 21 days, the virus will be gone. 21 days. Some are even saying 20. That disease came and kicked Trump and Boris deep in the chest. Both men went to the ICU, almost died. Only reason they survived is because they're both heads of state. They gave them that secret juice. Boris, to his credit, he came out of that hospital like he had seen Jesus. He came from the hospital, held a press conference, shut everything down. He came there barely dressed. He was like, everybody, this is not a joke. I've seen it for myself. The UK shutting down. Please, the football's gone. The pubs are gone. Do not take this lightly. I've experienced it myself. I promise, this is not fun. I can't talk to you. I have to go. Please, I can't talk. I have to. And he was just gone. Gone. That man was terrified. I was half expecting coronavirus to come around the corner like... Trump, on the other hand, didn't give a damn. That man will die from being stubborn. He came out of the hospital, could barely breathe, but still held a press conference. Didn't even speak. It was just like... If I can do it, so can you. Oh, man. I love everything about LA, even the things that people hate about LA, I love. I love the traffic in LA. It's like one of my favorite experiences. Yeah, when you don't live here, it's great. It's wonderful. Because you get to be a part of it, but you know it's not yours forever. It's like another person's child. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you get to be like, this is crazy. Have it back. That's what it feels like. I love it, man. I love the vibe, you know. I love driving out here, you know. And while I'm out here, I get to listen to the radio. Because you guys have great radio stations because you're always in your cars, you know. In New York, like radio's not a big thing for me living in New York. I ride my bicycle. I walk through the streets. I can't listen to music because I'll die. But in LA, that's all I do. You just listen to music. Now these days when you're driving around, all you hear is trap music. That's the big thing you hear is trap. That's the new music on the radio. It's really fun, trap. I don't understand what they're saying, but I enjoy it. You know? Yeah, every single song is the same. Every trap song to me sounds like a toddler complaining about life. That's all I hear when I listen to trap songs. Every time a trap song plays on the radio, I think of my little brother. He'll go outside, he'll like hurts himself, he'll come back crying, and it sounds like every single trap song ever. He'll like walk in like, and I'll be like, yo, Isaac, what happened, buddy? He'll be like, get him my boy, my shit. I let my boy, my shit. I let you, shoot him, my boy. I let my shit. I let you know, woo. I let you know, oh, baby, baby. Take me now, oh, baby. Take me now, baby. Woo. And I'll be like, yo, dude, slow down. I thought you were playing with your friends. What happened? All my friends are dead. Put me to the end. All my friends are dead now. Give me to the end now. I'm trying to lead you. I'll be like, yo, go talk to your mom, man. I don't know what you're saying. Go talk to your mom. Ah, the city of angels. I love every moment, man. I'm enjoying myself. I just got back from vacation, so I'm having a great time. You know when you got that vacation swag? You know, you still got that thing? You know, you still feel loose, you feel relaxed. I went to Bali on vacation, yeah, out in Indonesia. Yeah, if you've never been, make a plan and get out there. It's an amazing place. I went out with some of my friends, learned a few things about myself as a person. Most important thing I learned is somebody needs to invent a TripAdvisor specifically for black people, right? No, because just generally I find that what white people want to do on vacation is what black people are trying to escape. And not in a bad way, it's just like we want different things out of life, you know? Like my white friends are always inviting me camping, for instance, always. Like with enthusiasm, we're like, Trevor, you want to go camping, dude? I'm like, why? Why? It's like, dude, what do you mean why? It's amazing, you're kidding me? It's like no water, no electricity, you know? It's just like us in the great outdoors. You gotta like take a dump in the hole in the floor or something, dude. I'm like, yeah, that was my life. That was me growing up. You know how hard I worked to never go camping again? Every day I wake up in my bed and I'm like, thank God I'm not camping. If my family saw pictures of me camping, they would be devastated. My grandmother saw me out in the woods. She'd be like, oh, what happened to Trevor? Oh, I thought he was successful. Oh, it must be the crack. I want to go camping. So I went with my friends to Bali. They planned the trip. And before we went, I asked my friend, I was like, yo, Mitch, what are we going to be doing? And he was like, dude, don't ask questions, Trevor. It's just going to be a great time. I was like, yeah, I want to know what the great time is going to be about. He's like, dude, don't ask questions. I should have asked questions. Because we had fun. But the trip, like, there were a few things that were weird that I wouldn't necessarily do on my own. For instance, on the third day of the trip, right, we had what was planned, what was built in our itinerary as an authentic Balinese experience. Right? That's what they called it, an authentic Balinese experience. And what they did was, they woke us up at 5 a.m., put us in a little bus, and we drove for like 3 hours. And when we got there, get out of the bus, we're like in the middle of it, it's like a remote village, and the little tour guide, really happy, way too happy for that time. And he's just like, welcome everybody, are you ready for a good time? And I'm like, yay. And so he's like, my name is Deng Basan, and I'm going to be your guide. Today, you will have an authentic Balinese experience. So exciting, follow me. And so we follow him, and he walks up to a little door. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be like a temple or a cave or something. And he's like, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the real Bali. And he opens the door into somebody's house. This is not a museum house. This is just a house. Like someone lives there every single day. He opens the door, and he's like, this is the home of someone in Bali. He eats here. He sleeps here. I'm like, does he know we're here? Because, like, we didn't knock. Nobody answered the door. For all I know, we're breaking and entering right now. We're in some weird Balinese gang. I don't know how this works. And as I'm about to ask the question, he turns and he's like, over here, you can see the owner of the house. He's in the corner. And we turn and there's a man the whole time. He was just sitting there, frozen stiff. And now I'm like, is this guy part of this? I don't know if we should be doing this or should not be doing this. And Deng Basan turns to him and starts speaking to him in Balinese. He's like, he's like, okay, you can touch anything. And so I'm like, oh no, I don't think we should. Before I can even finish, the people in our tour group were like, yeah, touch it all. Oh my God, touch it all. Oh my God, does he sleep here? Oh wow, is this where he eats? Oh my God, I can never do this. Oh my God. Excuse me. Thank you so much for having us. Oh my God, I appreciate my life so much more right now. Thank you so much. This is horrible. Can we take a selfie? Thank you. Are you on Instagram? I'll just put hashtag the man. Thank you. Oh my God. So I'm really awkward right now, right? Because this is like something culturally I'm not supposed to be doing. Right? As an African person, I should not be in somebody's house rummaging through their life. So I'm standing in the corner, really uncomfortable. And the owner of the house, he's really accommodating, he's friendly. You know, he's like, yes, thank you, enjoy, thank you. And then he turns and he looks at me. And this was one of the most magical moments, right? Because he was smiling at everyone else, and his face completely changed when he turned. He was all hospitable, he's like, yes, thank you. And with his eyes, he proceeded to have the most in-depth conversation with me that I've ever had. And it's not like the eyes conversation was new to me. Like, you can have an eyes conversation with anyone you have a connection with. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it could be somebody of the same race when you're in public. It could be like a husband and wife. Like, wives are really good at having eyes conversations. They'll shit on you hard. Like, you'll be in public together, and then you'll say something off. You'll be like, oh, if only she did that. And she'll be like, oh, hell no, I cannot believe you said all of that. But it's just eyes. I cannot believe you said all of that. Wait until the next, oh, you want to air our dirty laundry out in public? Oh, you're going to see how this is going to end up. Oh, you say this and enjoy this moment right now, because you know it's over. And you're like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. All with eyes, right? That's what he did to me. Because one minute he's smiling at everybody, and then he turns and he looks at me, and just with his eyes, he was like, what are you doing here? And so with my eyes, I was like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I didn't know this was your house. They said it was an authentic experience. That's why I came. He's like, yeah, authentic for white people. You got your own poor. Go back to where you came from. I said, yeah, I shouldn't be here, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. So I left. I go outside. About 15 minutes later, everyone's done with their poverty porn, so they come and join me. And Dengba-san follows the crowd. And he's having a blast, you can tell. You know, he walks out and he's like, everybody have a great time? I know you enjoyed that. Now, it's time for a special surprise. Follow me, everybody, to the back. And he takes us to the back of the house, right? Where there's this area that they've laid out, where clearly they have some sort of performance. There's a stage, there's raked seating, and he tells us to find our seats, and so we all sit down. And there's people from all over the world in our tour groups. Myself, my American friends, you got some British people, there's a French family, a dad and his son, they sit next to me. And so I sit in the front row, and Dengba-san comes back out, and all of a sudden he's wearing like a giant Balinese headdress, looking really beautiful, you know? And he looks at us and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for an authentic Balinese experience? Please welcome the snakes of Bali. I'm like, the what? I'm like, oh, he said snakes. The snakes of Bali. And I look, and there's snakes. There's a group of men gathering snakes to bring out to us. And so I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't, no. No, because you see, as a black person, culturally, I'm trying to not die. So I take all my stuff, I start packing it. And the French guy turns to me and he's like, my friend, where are you going? The show is starting. I said, yeah, no, the guy said the snake's coming, so I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go to the back. He's like, you're moving because of the snake? I said, yeah. He said, why are you moving for the snake, my friend? Are you afraid of a snake? I said, yeah. That's exactly what I am. I'm afraid of the snakes. He's like, such a big man, but you're afraid of a snake? I said, yeah, with a big brain. That's why I'm afraid. It's a snake. Like, you're not gonna trick me into not being afraid of a snake. Like, my toxic masculinity is not so high that I'll be like, yeah, you know what, man? Come on, snakey. Come on. It's a snake. Instead of just letting it go, this guy turns, he's like, I cannot believe it, a big man like this. Hey, Jean-Pierre. He turns to his son. He's like, Jean-Pierre, monsieur le droit de l'huissier, le serpent, parce que ici, le pardon, ici, le... And this kid's like, ha, 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 snake. And he's like, oui, snake. Are you afraid? Snake. What is this? It's a snake. And these two carry on for like 15 seconds non-stop. Right? Just back and forth. Snake the whole time. He's like, snake, are you scared? Snake. I'm like, whatever, man. You guys lost all your wars. So I go to the back. Right? I don't have time for this because there's snakes. So I go to the back, take all my stuff, and I climb up, and I'm sitting at the top, right? Because I want to see the show. I just don't want to be a part of it, okay? And so I've got my stuff, and I move all the way up to the top, and I sit there. And as I get there, the show starts, and Deng Basan's really excited, and he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your first performer, the powerful Python." And dude comes out with a giant python wrapped around him, right? And this guy had this cool trick where the python would squeeze him really tight, super tight, so tight you could almost hear his bones cracking, right? And then he'd make a sound. He'd be like, "Eh." And the snake would let go. And then it would start squeezing him again, and he'd be like, "Eh." And the snake would let go. And it would squeeze him again, and he'd make the same sound. He'd be like, "Eh." And the snake would let go. And I was like, wow, this is dope. This is cool. Yeah, they're in a consensual relationship. I like this. This is, And so he leaves with the snake. The next performer comes out, and this guy had a green mamba with him, right? And so Deng Basan is like, "Ladies and gentlemen, the green mamba." And this guy comes out, and he had a cool trick where he took the lid off the basket, and the green mamba would come out, and then it would start doing like a little move, and then someone would play music, and then the snake charmer would dance with the snake, and they'd do the same moves. It was dope. It was like a Justin Timberlake video, just the two of them, okay? Play back and forth. I was like, oh, that was dope. And the snake goes back in, and then Deng Basan came out one final time, and he's like, "Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the final part of the show? Please welcome the King Cobra." And the final performer comes out with a cobra, puts the snake down. This is the lid, snake comes out. And I don't know what it was about this snake, but you could feel the energy change. Like, they were all snakes, but the snake looked mean, you know? Like, it looked like it hated life. There was something about it. Like the snake looked like it had a mortgage. Because it looked at us, and then it fixed its eyes on the charmer, and he was really cool and calm. He didn't even look at the snake. He addressed us. He was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, they say the cobra can strike faster than a man can blink. But can a man move faster than the snake can think?" And I'm like, ooh. I don't know what that means, but I'm in. Because it sounds like a dumb Instagram quote, but I'm in. And this guy had the most amazing trick. What he did was, he got right up close to the snake, right? And he'd put his hands behind his back. And then he would make it seem like he was going to kiss the snake. And the snake would be no further than like a foot from his face. And then he would make this sound, like a kissing sound. And as he made the sound, the snake would try to bite him, and then he'd move out of the way. I've never seen anything like it. So he leaned in, and he's like, "Come on, snake. Too slow, Snakey. Try again. No love for you, my friend. Come on, Snakey." And all of us are enthralled. Every single one of us. No one's making a sound, no one's moving. And he does it over and over again. And then, to take it to the next level, he closes his eyes, parts his lips. And I guess at this point, the snake was probably like, "Oh, I think I figured this out. This dude's gonna make the sound, and then he's gonna move. But if I bite before the sound, I can change everyone's lives." Because that's exactly what the snake does. The guy closes his eyes, pouts his lips. Before he can make the sound, the snake strikes him, pa! Bam! Hits him on the mouth, right? Cuts his lip open, blood goes spraying everywhere. Now, that should be the end of the story. That should be the craziest part of the story. No, this is the middle. The snake hits him on the mouth, the blood goes spraying. This guy jumps back and then acts like he didn't just get bitten by a snake. Which makes us think we're crazy, because we all saw it. Everyone in the audience was like, "Oh," and then he jumps back, and he just like shakes it off. You know what he did? He did that thing, you know that thing that people do where like you get their hand jammed in a car door or something? Like, you know, like it's slammed and it'll be like, and then people will just be like, mm. He did that, but with a snake. So the snake hits him, the blood sprays, and he jumps back and he's like, mm. Don't worry, we're fine. Don't worry. Don't worry, everybody, we're fine. Relax, relax, we're fine, we're fine. we're fine. But we weren't fine. You know how we know this? Because his face started melting on the one side, right? So his face starts melting, his lips starts turning blue, and he goes back to do his kiss trick again, but he can't even stand, and then he looks at the snake looks at him, and he's like, okay, show is done, good night everybody, goodbye, good night. He runs off. And all of us are just like, what the hell just happened, right? He runs off, I have questions in my head. I'm like, is he gonna be okay? Do we get our money back? How does this work? And then we turn back, and we realize he's forgotten his snake. And you know what the worst thing was? Is it seemed like the snake realized the same thing at the same time. Because the snake also watched him leave. And then as we turned back, the snake was also like, oh, shit. And so now, it's just us and the snake. And mind you, there's no barrier, right? There's no concrete, there's no glass, there's nothing. It's an authentic Balinese experience. So we're all staring at the snake is staring at us. And then one genius decided now would be the perfect time to get an Instagram picture. And I don't know if it was the camera, the sound, or the flash. All I heard was click, and the snake jumped up and was like, and we were all like, ah! And then it was chaos. Pandemonium ensued. Now don't forget, I was at the back, so I just jumped over. I was like, haha, being black saved me. I was out. Panic ensued. Everyone jumps up. People are trying to scramble, like trampling over each other. The French guy was my favorite because he jumps up and he's like, Sacre bleu! Le serpent! Le serpent! Allez, Jean-Pierre, allez! And he's pushing the people and he's running. He's like, allez, Jean-Pierre, Jean-Pierre! And when he turns, his son hasn't moved, right? So little Jean-Pierre is planted to the spot, terrified. And you see his face, he's like, Papa! 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 He's like, Jean-Pierre, allez, allez, mon ami! He's like, Papa! Papa! And so the dad realizes he's got to go back in and save his kid, right? But now this is one of those moments where I think you can see the fundamental difference between mothers and fathers, right? Because a mother would run in without thinking and she'd be like, I will die for my child. Strike me now, snake. Right? That's moms. Dads will also save their kid, but in the back of their head, you know the dad is thinking, yo, I'm gonna save my kid, but I don't wanna die. I mean, I don't wanna die because this dumbass didn't know to run when his dad was running. I mean, there's a snake, and I start running. Why wouldn't you run at the same time? Now I gotta die for your dumbass, which makes no sense, because I can make another one of you. You can't make another one of me. I should just make you a brother, and we can mourn your dumbass death together. I don't even know why we're doing this right now. I think that's what the dad was thinking, right? Because he didn't fully commit. Instead, he tried to sneak in behind his kid. And then he grabs the back of his hoodie and yanks him to safety. So now little Jean-Pierre is choking in the ground. He's like, and he finally gets him to the side. And another snake charmer comes running out, grabs the snake, puts it in the sack. And finally, danger's averted. Everybody's safe. Everyone is safe, but terrified. Some people are crying. Others are in shock. I'm standing on the side watching all of this. Little Jean-Pierre's there with his dad. They're both in tears. He's like, désolé, mon ami. Désolé, Jean-Pierre. Désolé. He's like, Papa, le trou de léger le poids de le soir. Le poids de... And I don't speak French, but I know this kid was like, you asshole, you left me. I'm gonna tell Mom. And so I'm staring at them. And I guess they could feel that I was staring. So they both stopped at the same time. And they turned and looked at me, and I looked at them. And in that moment, I realized we're all human beings. We'll experience the same thing. We went through the same trauma. No matter what happened to us before, we're all human beings. Because they looked at me, and I could see in their eyes what they'd just experienced, what I'd experienced. And in that pause, I bent down. I got real close to them, and I was like, Snake. That's how racism starts.